Good afternoon and welcome along to Destination Wellbeing. My guest this afternoon is Gemma Maloane, and Gemma is an employee of Clanrye Enterprises in the Keys. Is that right, Gemma?
Yes, in Drumlane Mill.
Drumlane Mill, in the Heart and Home shop there. As I said, Gemma and I are going to chat about Gemma's experience of working within the social enterprise environment and the opportunities that that has brought, and the encouraging Gemma to step out of her comfort zone that has brought along as well. But Gemma's going to introduce herself and share a wee bit of her own story and why Heart and Home was important and as a part of your development, Gemma.
Joanne, I am 26, and so at birth then I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and it just affects the right side of my body. There's 30% power on the right side of the body and 70 to the left. But then with that, my coordination and like perception of, you know, like things like stairs and things like curbs, up and down curbs, things like that would get me.
Yeah, the depth perception.
That's what I
worked with a wee boy, and he would have, as a child, he's been doing an intensive physiotherapy program and different things with the Family Hope Centre in America. But as a child, his depth perception wasn't as accurate as most people's would be, and he would have went around and fired socks in front of him all the time so that he could gauge, because he couldn't figure it out himself. So when he was gauging whether it was a doorstep, just over a doorstep and whatever. So
it's an up or down thing. It's even if I was going upstairs, I'd have to nearly count them before I go up them. Yes, things like that
to work out. But you learn skills to adapt these things, don't you? And I think that's one of the messages that we're hoping to get across today. Definitely. Is that it's not about what the problems are, it's about how you overcome them and look at them. So so that was right from birth. So was it, you obviously then your parents were in a position then to sort of make decisions quite early on for you that were going to help with you to achieve your full potential?
Yeah, right from primary school, I think I had to constantly make decisions where, you know, what sort of like help I needed at school, but I always got extra help. I always had like the classroom assistant and extra time to do things like that. With GCSEs I got extra time. Everything I done was set out. Yeah,
but you needed, but the importance of having that support, because without that support it would have been, well, we'll just, not with no disrespect to Gemma, but we'll just take Gemma and we'll just let Gemma sit there and Gemma.
Oh, we got that. We had that. We had a few instances where it was like just push her to the side, but you know, you have to just keep fighting, I think,
for yourself and keep.
Well, mum and dad
did
most of the fighting
at that young age, but now I think you've taken on a wee bit of that fight yourself. I don't think as much of it maybe falls on to your mum and dad as it might have done in the early stages, but it's very important to have that support and that encouragement from them in the early stages. And that, so through GCSEs, and then that led, what was after school when you came out of school?
Out of St Mary's High School and over to the Tech, and did some media for 2 years. Left media and just went into work, into employment then, so into catering. Which I find a bit too heavy. Yeah, it'd be a bit challenging. It was the whole plates and things. I was sort of dropping more and smashing more than I was serving, but that I did it. Yeah, well, and that's the point, isn't it? That you did it. I did it, and then I had like a few of those where you go through the jobs and benefits to get into things, and that's then Stephen McClelland over in Wynn Business Park. Oh yes, I know Stephen. Was speaking to me one of the days. I had gone through about 7 or 8 months of like unemployment. And he was then telling me about the shop, and then again it was something that I would never have thought of doing, so it was sort of, don't know, and they will tell you, I did go through the stage of I don't know whether I should do it or not, but then you come round to with support and encouragement, because it's easy, the easy option. I know we've talked about this numerous different occasions, Gemma, but the easy thing to do is to say no. Always. Yeah, it's always easier to say no. I used to like to say no, but you don't get anywhere, do you know what I mean? You need to move forward, and that's where I am now. Embrace your abilities rather than focus on what you can't do, isn't it, really? And so many of us, you know, that's true for us all, that regardless, we can all put limits on ourselves if we want to, can't we? Whether we have physical limits or not, or even for some people maybe it can be emotional limits as well. But
there's always ways round them, over them. And
well, it's confident. It was confidence with me, John.
Yeah.
More so than the cerebral palsy that would have held me back. It was confidence. It was the whole thing of going into something that you didn't know.
Yeah.
But to know then that you have a complete support group in Clanry, in Heart and Home, and everything you do, you know, they're there supporting you the whole time. So
I love what you say there, that it was confidence more than cerebral palsy that held you back, and perhaps there's maybe a link between the two, but because lack of confidence is something, again, that everybody of all ages walks, male, female, old, young, we can all experience times in life where we have lack of confidence.
Still have a lack of confidence in some areas, but not where the shop's concerned.
Yeah, not
I can't actually believe that where I was to where I am.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure there'll be parts of your life where you'll be able to take those lessons that you've learnt in that one occasion and remind yourself when it comes to something else. Maybe even like, for example, today's interview, the easy thing would have been when I contacted you would have been to say, no, Joanne, that's not for me.
I think I did say that at one stage.
Yeah, I think you did say that.
I did, but then it's the comfort zone thing again. It was like, no, I need to do it. It was a thing I need to do.
Yeah, you need to. But I think whenever you've been through it and you realise, well, that's all it is, that it's just fear and I can overcome it. And if I've got the right people around me and I'm supported and I'm encouraged, then I can.
Which is all you ever get from Heart and Home and the Clanry group.
Yeah.
Just focus on what you want and you'll get there. You know, that sort of attitude. It's not a you can't do. I've never heard you can't do over there, and I've never actually heard the word disability over there either.
Yeah, which is fantastic for everybody, because that does help with your own confidence, because the less the people around you focus on the problems, the less you're going to focus on them, and you're not allowed to dwell on them.
No, it's not an option.
So you went through your employment, then obviously you spoke with Stephen, and Stephen done the introduction into Clanry, and initially you went in on their training programme.
Yep, I had from October 2011, so I was actually there just before the shop opened to the public.
Okay.
For your 2 years, and it's individually paced learning. So some people can get through the course in like 6 months. Others it'll take the 2 years. Others it might take 3 years.
Yeah. But and I suppose that depends on each person, as you say, it's individually paced. So that's their individual needs, because there may be some people who maybe can't attend full time, who need to attend. But the common denominator, or the factor that is there, is that everybody can do it at their own pace, and they will get there.
And they get there in the end, because I just came out in April of last year to help them with the sleeve gullion shop. But I should have maybe been there until October, but I came out ready to come out. I was ready to come out in April time.
And I suppose we all need to maybe move through life and look at that and do things at our own pace, instead of comparing ourselves to what other people can do or can't do. We joked at the start about saying, you know, how I was going to introduce you, and I said, well, the unique Gemma, but the reality is that we're all unique, because there's no two people ever the same, but yet a lot of systems, whether they're educational systems or training programs or workplaces, I suppose the easiest way initially is to make everybody achieve at the same, or to push everybody on the same pace, but that doesn't help the individual.
Well, you still do have, you know, your like deadlines for things in the shop. So like a stock take might have to be done by a certain date, but as far as the training and things are concerned, it's all you do at your own pace, and you do the way you want. So say some person like they know that I learnt more by doing the things. I learned more by going out into the shop and actually doing the things for myself, whereas some people might prefer the theory, some people might be, I don't know, they watch videos.
Yeah, so we've all got our own learning style, really, and again, that just reminds us that we are all unique, and that we need to maybe sometimes, if I read a quote one time where it said, if somebody's not answering the question, rephrase the question. It's not that they're not, it's not that they don't know the answer, they just don't know how the person who's questioning it's trying to get it across. And I suppose that translates probably into a lot of the work that Clanry do, is that everything is made specific to the individual. And then you went through the training programme, and as you say, then you finished your training programme a little bit earlier to go and open the sleeve gullion shop, which I'm sure was
I had a ball.
Such a beautiful setting as well. And were you there over the summer last year?
From I had 5 or 6 weeks with the other girl, Amy, that to sort of break me in
Okay.
So she would have worked with me one day and then I worked the next day myself.
Yeah, so
that sort of thing.
Alternated.
And then completely by myself by the July time.
Okay, so you were let loose, Gemma, in the world of South Armagh. I'm not quite sure if it was ready for Gemma, but
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I'm sure it was. But Steve Gullion's such a beautiful setting.
Oh, it's another world. You go up and it doesn't even feel, you know, it doesn't feel like you're at work. It just feels like the people, you know, it just all falls into place, really.
It's funny, I was up yesterday exercising and I can feel the effects of it. I haven't done exercise for a little while because I've been moving house and stuff, and I can feel the effects. But the equipment, the gym equipment and everything up there is really great. Yeah, the outdoor stuff is great. Such lovely views and everything, and to be able to be in and among the trees and all the rest of it.
It's just, I just always say it's a different world.
Yeah.
I call it my wee bubble.
Yeah,
it's my wee bubble.
Yeah. So, and in Gemma's wee bubble, so all of the other stuff that goes on in there. I know you've been, again, not holding back and challenging yourself on all levels. So far this year, you've passed your GCSE maths. You've taken part in Hello Dolly in the pantomime. And how did all of those things come about, or how did you feel when you were doing those?
Absolutely loved them. Yeah. Loved it, and I do. I love the pantomime. Have to say it's my favourite thing I do every year.
Yeah, you work with the little tots, the tiny tots.
They're like 3 to 7.
Brilliant, yeah.
So it's just so funny. You just never know what they're going to say, John.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
What's going to come up next? And you sort of support the production of that and getting them all together and organised. But then decided to make your own venture onto stage.
Oh yeah, 9 years later.
Yeah.
I did the whole drama thing, Joanne, you see, and you come out of drama when you're sort of 18, 19.
Yeah.
So then there was a confidence thing again. And I was sort of doing the whole, no, I can't do it, not doing it. I go to the back, not going to do it, can't do the steps. But again, with the right people showing you and sort of pushing you, no, you will do it. Yeah. You will do it, and you are going to do it. And you know, it doesn't matter what row of the stage you're on, sort of thing. You don't need to be right at the front. It's the whole taking part.
Yeah, and the pleasure of that, and I mean the pleasure that it brings to so many.
It's so much fun.
And the audience enjoying it, and then the pleasure coming back to you because you're doing something that people enjoy doing. But you know, I know you talk a lot about the people around you, but you know, there's such an amazing resilience within yourself and a determination to do stuff. It's not just all about other people. And you've, as I say, you've also got the head stuck into the books. I mean, people can encourage you, but nobody can do it for you in life.
No, it's the support network, but then you have to want. You have to want to show people what you can do too.
Yeah, and show maybe yourself as much as anybody else. I think it's the pride that you take. I know when we were talking there about your exams, and you were saying, like, you know, I'm proud of myself. It doesn't.
I am very proud of myself for passing my GCSE, because it did take me 7 years.
Yeah, but you got there, and that's slow and steady wins the race, isn't that what they say?
That's it. Well, that's it. I had to learn that. I had to learn that for myself. It doesn't matter if it takes you 7 years to do something,
or it takes 10 years, or whatever the length of time is not. Matter. Yeah, but to have the goals. And was that something that over the 7 years you'd always wanted to do, or had you kind of left it and you weren't really too concerned about it until it found its way back to you?
No, I think it was, you know, when it gets offered to you. So it was something that was offered to me again through Clanray. So I said, give it a go. But I didn't have high hopes about passing it, so I was absolutely delighted with myself
when you got there. And driving, I know you drive as well. Is that
drive everybody insane?
Would that generally be seen as more challenging for somebody with cerebral palsy?
Coordination.
Yes. Yeah.
The coordination thing, that was another thing I got told, no, maybe she just shouldn't do, but I can't
accept no.
I don't like. Because I said it for long enough myself. I didn't. Maloane, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I can't do.
And how do you find driving now?
Love it. Love the independence.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the independence for everybody is such an important key thing, and I can't imagine life without driving.
No, you see, we get too dependent on it, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm really suffering when we talk about being dependent. I'm having challenges with internet and stuff this week, and it's like it just becomes such second nature that you do nearly take it for granted a wee bit, and then you have to remind yourself that no, it's not just, you know, life doesn't just always flow just as easily as we think. And a few deep breaths in, and I've had to calm myself down from feeling like somebody's cut off my right arm because I can't access the internet. So what's any other big goals or anything that you'd like to achieve over the next while, Gemma? Have you thought about anything else?
Let me see.
I know you mentioned...
I'll have to think about that.
I've heard mentions or whispers of running and
oh yeah, well there's a bit of that going on, but I mean...
Yeah, but that's, again, it's work in progress, steady. Isn't it? Yeah.
Slow and steady, as you said.
And do you enjoy running?
It's just, yeah, it's a clear head thing. Yeah. Well, it's jogging, Joanne, like, we're not going to...
Yeah, no, well, you know, even jogging, I walk, so a jog is a pace up for me, so...
Well, yeah.
But...
I mean, Mummy would be walking fast and I would be jogging beside her and thinking I was the bee's knees, but...
Yeah. But
I don't know what it looks like to the cars coming past.
Well, sure, what does it matter what it looks like to... Like, I think we spend way too much of our life worrying about what things look like to other people, don't they? If you're getting a clear head and you're out, then...
I do have to, I love walking. I love like walking and your music in your ears and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, and just getting out and clearing the head. And that leads to... That could take you off at all sorts of paths and directions. We could be we could be doing half marathons and all sorts of jam before...
Calm down. Calm down, John.
No, did you see all those people that told you, have you changed from has no change to calm down, do you think, whenever people start encouraging you instead of saying no now, do you tell them to calm down?
I don't say no, I sort of say, yeah, I'm fabulous now.
Yeah, well, we all need to remember ourselves.
I'm great.
When that motivation is such motivation in itself, because whenever I'm working with a lot of young children, I think that's something that young people really miss out on. And I know we all go through those stages where we feel that we're useless at everything and we can't do anything and everything.
But everybody gets them, don't they?
Yeah, everybody has those stages, but we need to kind of try and encourage ourselves out of that situation, don't we? But I'm sure working with the young people, even in the pantomime and things like that, then, you know, if they've got positive role models around them, it all adds, doesn't it?
Well, I would be a funny role model, I wouldn't be.
Yeah, but
I just turn everything round to the...
Yeah, back to humour.
That's what works for me.
Yeah, but that's it, and it's finding what works. And I'm sure your customers appreciate that humour too. When they come in.
I love the customers.
Yeah. So you're in the Keys, so that's where it can be found. And for those who maybe don't fully understand or aren't fully aware of the shop at the Keys there, the Keys in Uri, Heart and Home, it runs under a social enterprise model, which basically means that all of the business is run for profit, but the profit is invested back into the business.
Back into our training.
Yeah, back into training to provide opportunities for more young people. With varying levels of both physical disabilities and learning difficulties.
Physical disability and health conditions, Joanne.
Yeah.
So,
okay. And that takes place both in Slieve Gullion and in Uri as well?
Yeah, Slieve Gullion is Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, that's in
Sunday,
under
1
Heart
to 5.
And Home. Yeah.
And then the shop in Uri is 10 till 5, Monday to Saturday. And the trainees are there throughout the week.
Okay, brilliant. But there's also training taking place in Slieve Gullion, separate from the shop. They do some woodwork
and horticulture and things like that.
Yeah.
So we would have our picnic tables and things.
Yeah, I've seen some of the picnic tables are lovely. I have one of them on my wish list at some point in time. But and all made locally here by local people.
That's the whole thing about the shop, Joanne. It's the stock in the shop comes back from other social enterprises or local craft and cottage industry.
Okay.
So it's all as local as you can keep it.
Yeah, funny, I noticed on Facebook this morning that Armid Therapies had their candles. Anne-Marie McQuaid sells some of her candles in Heart and Home. So, and the smells and that are gorgeous, so they're available in there. But there's lots of different products and things that... what would be one of the most popular items?
Our own chalkboards.
Yeah.
Definitely have to be our own chalkboards. Yeah,
and those are made, they're all made in Uri?
They're made in our production area with the trainees.
Brilliant. And
our Scrabble frames are a very close second.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of wedding presents and things for Scrabble frames.
Scrabble frames are going christenings, weddings, birthdays, engagements. Things like that, you know.
All of those, all nice gifts. And locally, again, the key emphasis there being homemade, fair employment, I suppose not necessarily fair trade label, but fair conditions for people that are working in it. So we're not exploiting anybody. Everybody's there and enjoying it. And whereas a lot of the products that we maybe purchase from, there's the risk that some of the products that we're purchasing that are made in other parts of the world, maybe the conditions that the employees work in aren't as favourable, but use of a product that's locally made by local people with local standards and conditions. So it's fantastic. It's a great opportunity. So
have you got one of our chalkboards, Joanne?
I have one of your chalkboards, yes. I had my eye on one of the chalkboards, and then I volunteered to do a stress management session with trainees in Slievegallion at Christmas to give them skills to kind of learn to relax in December time maybe, and as a thank you gift we'll organise one for the Keys as well, Gemma, but yes, as a much appreciated thank you gift, I received one of the chalkboards. So I have, and I use it. I keep my memos and write my different reminders and stuff on it, so they're very useful. And they're lovely, you know, and they're so well finished and everything as well.
They're finished with love, Joanne.
Yeah, love. Yes, that's with handmade. Funny, I have a friend who made me a blanket, and she has a wee sticker thing on it that says handmade with love, and I love stuff like that, where it's and that's what I love about Heart and Home as a concept, and some of the other social enterprises that I would shop through, or even online, because it doesn't just have to be a lot of your products are available online.
No, that's
as well,
right. We have our own website, so that's www.heartandhomeonline.com.
Brilliant. Yeah, so anybody watching in from all over the world can support local business back in your area, and support the trainees there as well in their efforts to really achieve their full potential and achieve everything that life can offer at their own pace, and in a supported environment where their individual needs are met, and then they're able to give something back as well, really.
That's it. That's the whole thing behind it, is right.
It's getting the balance between the two, really, so that everything can work, that society as a whole can work together, and we can all make life easier and more enjoyable. I love where you said there, you know, they're made with love, and everybody's in enjoying themselves, because
everybody's in having a ball.
Well, isn't that what life's about? If we could all be as lucky to get up in the mornings and say, I'm in having a ball and I'm enjoying my day and I'm enjoying my time, well then that just makes life so much easier, versus and whilst we're on a very positive note, it's not always nice to go back, but sometimes we need to remember that without the efforts of individuals and organisations and parents and families, then very often people do get left behind, and their potential isn't fulfilled, and that's certainly not a place where we want to be. But there's a significant number. I mean, Clanrye's operating now over 30 odd years, is it something?
1980. I'm going to guess it's 82 or something
82,
like
yeah,
that.
well, 30 will go 32 years. I thought it was almost as old as me, yeah. So,
I could
almost, be. No, I think I do recall figures in and around that, and I know it has changed, and the model has changed, and different things have changed over the years. But ultimately, at the core of it, has been helping individuals to achieve and to reach their full potential. And I know you've mentioned confidence and the support network. Anything else that you think having the opportunity through Clanrye has brought you as an individual? What benefits do you see?
I'm more willing to try things now. More willing to, because I did that one thing that I thought I was out of my comfort zone. Now when somebody asks, like as you said, like you asked me to do this the first time, I was sort of like, no, oh well, maybe if I did that I can do something else, sort of attitude, you know. And did your driving come before or after Clanrye? Had you found your way? That was like 5 years of my life before Clanrye.
Right. Yes.
No, but again, that was a couple of people with it's an automatic car.
Yeah.
So I went through like driving a manual car, and I just couldn't get the changing the gears and things with the turning of silly things. I call them silly.
They're not, and they're so not, because so many people struggle with them. And I mean, you know, we talk about it here, but if you're in America, pretty much everybody drives automatic. So it's nothing.
I've had it said that it's an automatic is a lazy way out, but
well, you know what?
Do you know what? It's my wee
Yeah, it's and as I said,
Getaway.
you know, we have it here in terms of we're quite familiar with it because people do drive manual cars, but in parts of the world, manual's just not used, so it wouldn't even be a question. There wouldn't even be an option as to what you would do because you would just automatically drive an automatic.
Yeah.
So it's, but that was again one of those things. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I couldn't do it, but I'm determined to do it. I'm determined to get over it. And as I said, I think there's lessons in that for each and every one of us.
When you find the right people, you will get where you.
Yeah, and it takes time as well. It's time and people and support and motivation, I believe, are the keys to
positive affirmations.
Anything. Yes, do you use positive affirmations?
Positive affirmations.
I think me and you could have a long conversation on positive affirmations. For you, what is a positive affirmation?
It's sort of like, I think the fear is in the try sort of thing. I would write poems, Joanne. So like all of my
poems. We'll have to get you in to share some of your poems.
No. No.
Are they for your eyes only?
No, they're for selected eyes.
Selected eyes, okay. Well.
But some poems, and you know, I wrote one actually about going from the start of Clanry to getting the job at Clanry. So it was like the fear and the whole thing was actually trying it. And I wanted to say no, but whenever you actually say no, hold on a second. Yeah. It's all that sort of thing. And where you can read that one if you want.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely. You'll have to share that one with me. But and this is an off the cuff, so you might have to think about this answer for a wee bit.
Wait.
But had you not have said yes to Clanry, where do you think Gemma would be today?
Probably
have you ever thought about that one?
I have. Stuck in a rut. Yeah. I think really stuck in a rut because some people don't want to help you, and I have been in jobs where people, when they've sort of, I know it mightn't be right to say it, Joanne, but when people sort of find out that you have a disability, they're sort of like, oh,
yeah, and
what way is that? What way would that leave? It's not. Yeah. What way does that leave them?
No. But
whereas it wouldn't stop me from, because I've had 1, 2, 3 different types of jobs that I've tried.
Yeah. So.
But I'm actually settled.
Yeah, you know where you find your niche and you find what makes you content and happy. But yes, and I think that response is probably back to the fear response again, isn't it? I mean, your fears are one thing and somebody else's fears are another, and maybe it's just lack of knowledge and lack of education because you don't know. And you know, when we talk about cerebral palsy, there's such a broad spectrum of how that can affect somebody, yet rather than seeing the individual, sometimes we categorise the title and think, well, someone with cerebral palsy will be X, Y or Z.
Yeah, well, I've had that actually said to me. I've had people say to me, you don't seem to have cerebral palsy, and I just, at times you want to say, why do, you know. Yeah,
what do you expect somebody who has cerebral palsy to be like that?
I actually prefer when people ask you, you know, have you got a wee problem there with your walking? Yeah. And then you get to explain, well, no, but, you know, you get to explain it in how I know.
On how it is for you. Yeah. And that'll be very different for somebody else. And so we can't really, we can't generalise on that level. But I think the key of saying, you know, you would have been in the rut, that's a key point, because without taking that first step and without trying to overcome that fear, whatever the fear is for anybody, we're always going to stay within our own comfort zone and within our own prejudices, for want of a better word, or whatever it is. We don't step outside of that. But I think we'll revisit some of that poetry aspect sometime, Gemma. But and again, that's a lovely way of expressing yourself and getting things out there. That
when you write it all down, Joanne, you see it's sort of like lifts it up.
You put it into context. Well, Gemma, thanks a million for your time this afternoon. And to finish up on positive affirmations, we use them all of the time, but sometimes they can be, a lot of our affirmations can be negative. But I hope that today has put, I suppose, a bit of a feel good and the benefits of thinking positive, of stepping outside of your comfort zone, of overcoming the limitations that both you can put on yourself, but also that society and people as a whole can put on you. And Gemma, you're a wonderful example of that. So thank you for sharing your experiences. And if anybody would like to benefit from more of these, of the wonderful experiences of people in Clanrye, then do definitely call in and visit Heart and Home, because it's just even the experience of being there is uplifting, and I've certainly some of the skills and the techniques that are there in the products are fantastic as well. So until next week on Destination Wellbeing, thank you very much for watching in. Have a lovely week, and we will see you back next Tuesday at 3 p.m.